using the globals, they're not really, they haven't been drafting into what they are good at. That was very odd, and I think that's potentially also why they lost against Tempest both of the times. Let's see if they bring out their specialty macro plays on this Cursed Hollows game number 4.
Red team will have first ban L5, that is, with their loss in the last game. May just ban the false stat away. See it already before. They haven't really been focusing on globals. If you look at the game on Dragonshire specifically, that was what cost them their first map of the series. And Tempest could go 3 in a row here. Do eliminate the false stat. Suddenly feels like we're living in a world where L5 doesn't like rotations, doesn't like controlling big maps, just wants to team fight and take supreme late game. I wonder if they'll grab Nazebo. They're not going to grab it here.
Or again, Tyrael from first pick.
I like that choice. Especially with how well Sign has been playing on the ETC. You give him the opportunity to have Sanctification with that. And well, we already saw what happened. A lot of thought going into this one. There's no commercial break between these sets, so I have to think on this one right on the fly.
Yeah, of course, this band pick started off with Falstad and Valiban, the usual bands coming out. Now, but the standard safe one will be just Malfurion, but also if they they're going all in with this Morden pick, Noblesse, and Tempest has been just responding with a Charism. Hide with 7-sided, with dash upgrades, with talents. And Morden wasn't really making those big tanky plays in the front line. It was really tough.
I almost feel like perhaps even an ETC pick wouldn't have been terrible here for L5, because that's kind of the issue, right? I feel like Sign is carrying these games, especially the early game, and it finally really feels like Sign has broken the barrier. This series is his series to say, look, even if they lose the next 2 games, he has massively improved. His synergy with the team feels good right now. This is Tempest's perhaps best series, literally since the Grand Final series against MVP Black in 2016 summer. And this is just a regular HGC series. Finally, Dahaka gets in. Or one-handed Zerg, looking for global control. I'd like to see L5 in this phase ban ETC. Take him away.
Or just take it themselves and have also respond with a global. That's the question we've been asking. Why not have the global potential and go all into the team fight, and you end up becoming just rotating behind the other team because the other team always has that global presence.
Think about this, though. You can't really run ETC Murden on L5. You could do it on another team, but who plays the ETC? You have Noblesse on Murden, 100%. You put Jung on ETC. It feels like a waste of his potential, and just doesn't feel like that comp works out, even though what you're saying logically does make sense.
I think that you're on the point there.
It just feels like L5 as a team specifically cannot run that double tank like that.
Which is also why they have been super highly prioritizing Morden instead of other tanks.
Yeah. And, you know, I wouldn't really be talking about the fear of ETC with any other team than Tempest right now. And before this series, I wouldn't have even mentioned it had Sign not played 2 incredible games. Really, game 1 wasn't bad either, but the 2 incredible games he just played on Dragonshire back-to-back. This is a smart ban. I was talking about it before the draft even really got underway. You've got to remove the ETC if it's left in this second rotation for Tempest. Do not let them have it. And L5 is already going to the Nazebo comp. Malfurion and Nazebo both great at delaying tributes for the team fights, stopping those channels. That's going to be really important when they don't have a global. I don't think there is a global they can take here. Brightwing is out of the question. And well, that's basically it. There's nothing else that's viable or available here.
Illidan.
No way.
Just
don't even go there with me right now, Cheeklef. The series is too hype for you to be trolling me.
Oh, yes.
Keep that in your subtitles.
I really like the Nazebos coming into the meta. 3 out of 4. just in this series, and also a few other games before the series, and every single day of HGC Korea especially. So really, Nazibo coming into the meta, longer games with longer draft, also coming in at Lucio variant for Tempest.
Wow.
Okay, Hyde really favoring Lucio because they want to have that speed boost, and he's been on point with those wall rides.
Really helps the whole team rotate for boss contention. Obviously, Lucio can kind of help contest the boss himself with his boop. It's a pretty rare scenario, but it does happen sometimes. Can help both Dahaka and Varian get into taunt and tongue range with his speed boost. Question is, I wonder what they're going to do for their final pick. Looks like it's going to be main tank Varian, so we're going to see probably a mage of some sort. Let's swing back over onto the side of L5 really quickly here. The only damage that's reasonable that's left is Sergeant Hammer. They could go Leeming with Nazeebo, hope Nazeebo then gets the early damage done, and then Nitrogen just flies in with the critical mass resets. Tough call. L5's gonna have to lock it in. Going down to the wire here. Rag and Hammer. So Hammer comes in as DPS we were talking about. Ragnaros is going to be the solo laner.
And also Molten Core during the tribute fight to actually lower all the HP of other team. I think they want to have the fight. Of course, delayed time with that Molten Core for Nazeebo to grow up later in the game also.
Now, Duck is not the best Leeming. In Season 3 of Super League, he probably had his best performances on the hero in 2016.
Lockdown seems to be the one that has a lot better performances with Leeming.
So I think Duck will be able to take us here, and I feel like you could put Lockdown onto the Leeming in this situation.
And Modern Life stepping up to the Warrior here.
Yeah. I think that's actually the way.
I think that's the most likely.
What are some alternatives?
Here.
Oh, looks like they're just going to do it. We don't have to talk about alternatives anymore. I look at these two drafts. I like Tempest more for the map. The rotation ability of Lucio and Dahaka for globals. They have two types of consistent damage, and they have the better solo laner. But L5 has the scaling of the late game. They have good poke for tributes. They could use that to soak extra and get ahead, or at least stay even to push for that late game. But Tempest looks poised. They have the momentum right now. They want to be the first team in HGC Korea to take a series against L5. We're going to Cursed Hollow now to see if they can make it happen. In blue, Team Tempest. Hyde on Lucio, Duck on Tychus, Lockdown on Leeming, Sign on Varied, and Modern Life on Dahaka.
In red, L5 SCSC on Sergeant Hammer, Nacho Jin on Nazeebo, Jungha on Ragnaros, Noblesse on Morden, and Swoi on the Malfurion.
Here we go, the battle has begun.
Looks like already parry build coming out from Varian. We have seen that a couple times before.
Okay, gonna see a interesting setup for lanes. A 2-1-2 split. The solo lane up here at the top is vacant by Dahaka currently, so L5 is going to get a large lead from the damage they do structurally here. That can't counterwise be done in the bot lane. I'm going to see their gank rotation up, but they should be able to realize this is coming, right? Yep.
Yes.
A little bit late on this, but Jungha does get out regardless. They get a cannon tower, and they get the soak in the bot. And actually, nothing is missed mid, so L5 getting really ahead from this. Oh, Duck totally whiffs it there with the orb.
Need one more second on that spot.
Or actually, sorry, lockdown, excuse me. As you mentioned, this is going to be lockdown on the Leeming and not Duck.
It seems more likely in Modern Life really being on all-rounder for the team. I think is filling in the right spot.
So Modern Life is going to have some trouble at dealing with this. This 2-1-2 setup is really annoying for L5 because you can't really harass Murden while rotating because he just heals up. He has okay wave clear. Noblesse isn't really using much of it. He just occasionally thunderclapping these minions. They're running back, and when he needs to go to under turret, he can. And you know, it's basically top and bot lanes were massively won by L5 initially. Look at this, no turret ammo left here. The bot lane, top lane, they already got one. The counter pressure here for Tempest is real, and it's a bit disappointing that there's just no rotation here for L5, but they had such a great start, and now Tempest is finally starting to hit their groove in the top lane.
Talking about groove, here comes Lucio.
Yes.
With the beat.
So,
Just harassing Lord in the middle.
Full parry build coming out for Varian, and everything else is pretty normal. Wall rights for Lucio at level 1, going to give him more mobility. Make sure he can stay with his team while they're mounted when he has his speed boost up. And obviously gives him a little more escapability. Spider build coming out for Nazebo as we wait to see if Nitrogen gets that pretty early. It depends on how long it takes him to finish that Widowmaker quest. That's going to begin the strong scaling that Nazebo gets in late game.
Yeah, those spiders at the end of the game, those has more damage than some heroics available into the game. So, and we just saw that coming out.
Yeah, on Dragonshire.
That was insane. Even took out Lockdown with just one skill.
So Molten Core is going to be used here to deny this tribute. So it looks like L5 just really wants this fort.
I want to see the HP of the fort. It's not too close. They will get it eventually, but the Molten Core will be done by that time. And it looks like Noblesse is just in time to cancel the channeling.
This is actually kind of cool. This is like, all right, I forced a fort down, and you can't actually get this tribute. I don't think Tempest really dealt with this appropriately. I mean, they may still get the tribute, but they lost a lot for this. And actually with this rotation up and how slow they came up, even with Lucio here, I don't think they can get this.
But if the Haka just stalks in right in the behind the L5 and make it into a 4v5, 5v4, and a CSC, leaving a CSC at the bottom lane, they may actually contest. Let's see if the Haka joins the team fight.
Looks like Tempest is just okay with getting some extra soak to catch up here and letting this tribute go, delaying as much as they can. They have Li Ming, can do a lot of poke. They know they're not going to get it against these three in the 3v3 exchange, so they will need the rotation up. SC has already predicted this. He's going to rotate halfway up to get the missing soak in mid. We'll see the brush stock come in soon, perhaps like right after this minion wave. He considers it. He's just watching. It's a long tribute fight.
It's better for L5.
Yes.
They have Nazebo. This is exactly what they wanted from the draft.
He's getting so many stacks off of just this harassment alone.
Noblesse jumps in, trying to delay.
Okay, Brush Stalker's still not used, so Tempest is starting to get at least some EXP value out of how long this goes on.
Great block from Noblesse, and there's the first tribute going to L5. Finally, 4 minute 45. That was a lot of time for first tribute.
Definitely. Modern Life catches them up in EXP. In fact, puts them ahead in EXP, getting this cannon tower. And we'll get the second and all that extra soak. First tribute at the end of the world, but getting a lot of spider damage done for Nazebo throughout that fight. Noblesse just kind of sitting back and tanking it up in mid. SC soaking here as we go into this pretty calm mid game. The Night Camp taken faster for L5. As you see, Tempest is coming over to do theirs just now. So a slight lead in terms of camp timings, which is going to relieve that mid pressure for Noblesse. There's not much to commit to in the bot lane anymore since L5 got that early fort. So why is guys? So got Malfurion. Ocuden's gonna help out over the wall. This should be
thinking if this Nazebo will be a long-term meta or just a short-term few weeks kind of thing. Because Nazebo has been coming up slowly. It's been in some weird drafts since last year, especially in Korea, where Nazebo was more commonly used in other regions. Now it seems like it's fully into the KR region.
Well, when his Voodoo Ritual became baseline, I remember which patch that was. I think it was the it was a patch before Probius, but anyway, I was like, well, everyone called it the hero patch, but I called it the Nazebo patch because I was like, this is going to happen eventually. It's going to become meta.
Yes.
Came meta first in Europe and really caught on in Korea now. So Do see Taunt coming in for Varian. Disintegrate as well as Odin. Everything else is as standard as it gets anyways. Here's Molten Core. L5 wants to force the issue here again on this second tribute to go into Curse Point.
They're not looking for kills. If lucky, yes, but all they need is a tribute, and yes, they get it again with that Molten Core.
It actually makes the Ragnaros pick look a lot better than it did perhaps at first glance, because Molten Core has been used exclusively for tributes, and 2 for 2 they've been able to get it. With how long the first one took, Molten Core was absolutely going to be ready. Taunt attempt here on the Jungho. We even see the grenade coming down. He will get killed, or will he? Oh my god. That was incredible, just the way they turned that there.
The last Q to heal himself, but the very last just saved him, and Taiga's overextending it there.
In the healing well as well. That was going to be pretty healthy in just a moment here.
What a nice play there. That's 2 for 1. No, 2 for 0 actually. Without Ragnaros being dead.
Always when you have the Nazeebo comp this ahead early, it's terrifying because you're thinking, well, the only way I win this is if I come back. They get another pick, by the way. The only way I win this is if I come back, and if I come back, it means we're going to late game, which is where Nazeebo's even stronger. This is just a funny exchange. They're trying to get these picks here. Soy will finally go down. They're not going to be able to get anything more than that. Definitely a positive exchange for L5. Tribute coming up here. Liming will have the better spawn. Malfurion not there to delay. Molten Core is going to be up fairly soon. I don't think it's quite ready yet. They may just let this one go and push the lanes. It looks like that's what they're planning. Oxygen stays top. They don't have Molten Core. They're just going to wait for the next tribute where they do to get the curse.
And Ragnaros just in place to spot Tempest coming around.
This is still really greedy, and he gets taunted. He will be taken out with Disintegrate. Now Noble S needs to get out himself. You can see the idea there for sure is exactly as you described it, but
if it was a Muradin, that may be better, but as a Ragnaros, you couldn't really escape.
He doesn't have escapes, and he got taunted. Messi going to take a little bit of damage here. The end of the world. Well, Tempest trying to claw their way back into this slowly but surely. Getting that one tribute, getting the pick. They didn't save their fort, so now they're down 2 forts. That means more comeback EXP for them to grab, and tribute will spawn blue side. So they're going to try to tie this up. Unfortunately for them, they wanted this Siege Giant camp to push against their tribute so that they had that extra pressure while they were delaying or trying to channel the tribute. Unfortunately, it's at the same location, so L5 can delay this and also clear the camp at the same time. Hyde with a fast channel, but he's going to have to back away.
Now this one's a little bit tougher for L5. The range of Molten Core does not reach too far all the way into this tribute. So we see Jonghan just not even going into the Molten Core. But
instantly taunted again. He could not be doing this. This is starting to... The Molten Core made the Ragnaros pick good, but if he keeps dying, it won't matter. Cleanse will save Natrogen. So much damage done here already, though, especially to Swoy. And Taunt's back up. This is going to be a tribute channel. It's going to be tied 2 for 2 here. L5 cannot be losing Jungha like this, or they will lose the game with him. Now we're pretty much on even footing. We are in terms of curse, and yes, there's a structural lead to L5, but EXP is going to be about the same. And this boss, if scouted, could be a super risky move, but if it works and pays the bills.
It looks like it's going to work, as Tempest is also going for their own boss, and it was also signed in perfect placement in that bush, just hiding until the right moment, and taunts, of course, it's a target skill, so it's very hard to miss. And this is lucky for L5 at least. It's a good trade.
Okay, L5 gets the slightly faster boss. And this is actually a really good spawn for the boss for L5 because it's on the opposite side of the tribute that they're going to slowly try to deny. Whereas for Tempest, you know, they can't deny the boss and deal with this. They're going to try to do so with Dahaka.
And Jonghan didn't use Molten Core before. It is available. Going to stall some time on the tribute and also block the damage coming into the fort.
Yeah, unfortunately that Molten Core doesn't last very long with the boss here though. Hide channels. Grenade here to try to deny the positioning there, but it's not going to work. You can see this boss is doing a lot more damage. Modern Life alone just doesn't have that much he can do to stop it. Has good wave clear, but it doesn't matter against a solo boss up in the top lane, working on that keep wall. The longer this goes on, the better for L5. It's eventually going to be cleaned up here. And Jungha is even going to go for some more pushing power on the mid fort. So L5 is looking for even more structural lead. They want 16. They're about to have it. Here's Odin. Tempest needs to make this happen right now if they want this to work. Noblesse is going in. They want the big stun. Not going to get it, though, actually. Jungha does not commit to Sulfuris. A really nice sound barrier would have prevented a lot of the damage, but because it was staggered now, Jungha may look for it a little bit later. Get follow-up pick. Looks like this is finally going L5's way. Tempest is going to let this go.
That was 2 heroics used for Tempest, and also hitting 16 on the L5 side. Tempest made the safer decision, and now there will be a curse onto them.
Curse deactivating all of these and putting the top pressure really heavy on the keep. The keep wall down by the boss. See a commitment here. Sign goes in from behind to try to get the taunt off. Does taunt, but doesn't get the follow-up damage.
Does not get rooted. There could have been 2 kills onto Duck Duck really instead. And this chase may actually find himself in the danger zone as he is getting very low now. Let's get the kill finally, but that will just be a trade at the end.
Lockdown gets a reset. But unfortunately, there's a scouting drone there, so we can't even hide in the bush. L5 is going to knock down the keep. They're going to core off of this. Curse still up for 15 seconds. It's only Hyde and Modern Life to try to deny this. Varian's up in 6 with a taunt, but this is just too much. Already so much pressure on the core.
Let's see if this is enough. They got the Molten Core.
I think this is just
doing
enough.
The damage.
Yeah, that should be it. Ice Block keeps Nitrogen alive. They're going to commit all the way, and we are going to a Game 5.
Wow. 1 curse was all they needed. All the delays coming out with the Molten Core, their teamwork. I feel like they're really trying something else here. They're not really focusing on the macros, but making the team fight work against Tempest, who's considered to be one of the better teams with the team fights, known for their team fights also. The L5 should